Ever had those days when life seems to deal you a tough hand and you're thinking, is this all there is? Trust me, we've all been there. It's like life keeps throwing challenges your way, and you're standing there with empty hands, wondering how you'll ever overcome them. But guess what? Today's video is a game changer. It's time to realize that you are the secret ingredient to your success. Today, we're diving into the incredible tale of Axe and Gloves, and let me tell you, this story isn't just inspiring, it's a total mindset shift. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our doses of inspiration. Alright, let's dive in. In a small village, there once lived an old man and his 3 sons. His name was held in the highest regard by every soul, but it wasn't his wealth or status that earned him such respect. It was his unwavering work ethic and extraordinary skills. This old man was a paragon of humility, dedicating his entire life to diligent labor, whether it was crafting fine furniture, building homes, or tending to the needs of his neighbors. As the years passed, his sons grew into men, but a concern gnawed at his heart. He worried that his sons had yet to discover what it meant to stand on their own 2 feet, to become men of their own making. So he pondered long and hard, searching for the best way to impart this invaluable lesson to them. Regrettably, the old man's health was declining, and the day arrived when he drew his final breath. The entire town mourned the loss of this noble soul, and his sons, in particular, were deeply shaken by the void left in their lives. In due time, the moment arrived to divide the old man's possessions among his sons. The eldest inherited the family home, a modest yet meticulously maintained cottage that had graced their family for generations. He felt a deep sense of contentment as he took possession of the house, moving into it with a profound sense of duty and pride. The middle son, who was known for his adaptability and ability to seize opportunities, was up next. His inheritance? Well, it was a cow. Some might have thought, what's he going to do with a cow? But this son recognized the potential in its milk and decided to kickstart a thriving dairy trade right in town. So you could say things were looking pretty good for him. But now, let's shift our attention to the youngest son's inheritance. Ready yourselves, because this one might raise a few eyebrows. The youngest son's share included an axe and a pair of gloves, tools that had seen their fair share of wear and tear but had been meticulously cared for. Now, let's be honest, anyone else might have tossed these old tools aside in disappointment or even contemplated selling them out of frustration. After all, compared to his brother's inheritances, it might have seemed like he got the short end of the stick. But you know what's truly remarkable? The youngest son accepted those gifts with an open heart and a sense of gratitude. He didn't have the security of a family home like his older brother, and he didn't have the prospect of immediate profit like his middle sibling. What he did have, though, were the very tools his father had used throughout his life in his trade. You might think that the 2 eldest sons, with their seemingly favorable inheritances, were destined to thrive, right? Well, hold on to your seats, because what unfolds next in this story is nothing short of astonishing. If you're enjoying this tale so far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. As the years rolled on, the story took an unexpected turn. The oldest son's house, once a symbol of family heritage, slowly transformed into a cluttered and unkempt mess. It was as if the house began to mirror its owner, falling into disarray as the eldest son neglected its upkeep. Meanwhile, the second son's dairy venture started off promising, but his lack of commitment soon cast a shadow on his prospects. The cow's once abundant productivity dwindled, much like his own ambition. The poor cow grew lean and sickly, and before long, the son found himself struggling to fend for himself. As for the youngest son, despite being equipped with what seemed like so little, he wasted no time in putting that axe and those gloves to work. He realized that these were the only possessions he had, and he was determined to make the most of them. From the moment he picked up that axe and donned those gloves, they became extensions of himself. His hands moved with precision and purpose, turning those humble tools into instruments of transformation. The town watched in awe as the stark contrast between the three siblings unfolded. The eldest son's house remained a chaotic eyesore, reflecting his lack of discipline and care. The second son's cow grew progressively thinner, mirroring his fading motivation and drive. But then, there was the youngest son, and his story was nothing short of inspirational. With his trusty axe and gloves, the youngest son was a force of progress. He became the brains behind amazing cities, the designer of sturdy bridges, massive dams, and grand mills that brought prosperity to the townspeople. His reputation as a skilled worker spread far and wide, and he earned a comfortable living through honest, hard work. With his earnings, he purchased his own home and a diligent cow, forging a path of success and independence that served as a shining example to all. But wait, the story doesn't stop here. It takes an intriguing twist that holds a valuable lesson for us all. The two elder brothers, baffled by their younger brother's unyielding success, couldn't help but believe that there was something truly supernatural about that legendary axe and gloves. Fueled by envy and the desire for their own prosperity, they concocted a plan to steal these mystical tools, convinced that it held the key to their fortunes. Under the cover of a moonless night, they stealthily crept into their brother's home and silently made off with their prized possessions. You might expect that the youngest son's fortunes would crumble and his world would come crashing down without his prized tools. On the flip side, perhaps the older brother's lives would skyrocket, right? Well, reality had a different plan. When they tried to harness the axe and gloves for their own gain, the results were far from magical. The axe didn't swing with the same precision, and the gloves felt awkward and unfamiliar in their hands. Meanwhile, the youngest son didn't even despair over the theft of his cherished tools. He knew that true mastery came from within, not from the objects one possessed. So, without missing a beat, he bought himself a new axe and a fresh pair of gloves, as eager and relentless as ever to shape the world around him. And once more, he began his work with a heart full of determination and joy. It didn't take long for the older brothers to come to a profound realization. It wasn't the tools themselves, but rather the skill and unwavering dedication of their younger sibling that had fueled his incredible achievements. They realized it was their nonchalance and laziness that led to their downfall. At last, they grasped the wisdom their father had been trying to impart all those years. It wasn't the material possessions they had inherited from him that would define their destinies. It was the values and work ethics he had instilled in them. They understood that their father's intention had always been for them to make the most of what they were given. Motivated by this newfound understanding, the older brothers embarked on their individual journeys of self-improvement. The eldest son took up carpentry with a fierce determination to restore the family home to its former glory. The middle son rededicated himself to the dairy trade, pledging to make his cow the most productive in the entire town. As time passed and they honed their skills, pouring heart and soul into their work, success began to shine upon them in their respective endeavors. They learned that true prosperity wasn't born from envy or shortcuts, but rather from the honest sweat of one's brow and an unwavering determination to excel. It was a lesson that would serve them well for the rest of their lives. This story is a treasure trove of life lessons. It reminds us of the importance of valuing hard work, self-reliance, resilience, recognizing our true worth, pursuing continuous improvement, and achieving success through ethical means. It serves as a powerful reminder that success is a product of our own efforts and abilities, rather than external factors or shortcuts. Success isn't a free handout. It's something you earn through dedication and hard work. While shortcuts might lead to material wealth, genuine happiness and fulfillment are found in building something meaningful and enduring. The youngest son's ability to bounce back after losing his tools is a testament to the value of self-reliance. Instead of dwelling on his loss, he took the initiative to replace them and continued his diligent work. This teaches us the importance of being self-sufficient and not solely dependent on external resources. If you found this story inspiring and filled with valuable lessons, be sure to share it with your friends and family. Stay tuned for more motivational stories in our next video.